Media Now 2020. What is going on, guys? My name is Ted Bryant, coming to you from the beautiful Soldier Field at downtown Chicago, where I am currently based. I just wanted to start by saying, wherever you are, I want to wish you well. I hope you and your family are healthy and safe. And I wanted to acknowledge how amazing it is that you're taking part in this program and furthering your own knowledge, as well as taking it back to your respective publications and carrying it further into your collegiate experiences and beyond. So for starters, I am the content manager at the Chicago Fire Soccer Club of Major League Soccer. And I'm really blessed to do what I do. It means I get to be a part of an amazing team. I get to capture it. I get to tell our club's story to our fans in Chicago and our fans the world over. I get to use the same skills that you're learning now that I once learned when I sat through a similar summer program, too many years ago to count. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about something that is very important to me, something that I actively practice, and something that I haven't even fully learned, even in 32 years of being on the earth. And that's betting on yourself. I wasn't always a content manager, and I didn't always work in soccer. This is what I consider my dream job. But it took me a long time to get here. It was not easy. I have been a grocery bagger. I've been a retail clerk. I've been an insurance claim agent, a waiter, a truck driver, a security guard, a bartender, and honestly, I'm sure there's a few that I'm forgetting along the way. But what I am now is the content manager at the Chicago Fire. It is my dream job, and I am unbelievably blessed to do what I do. And for a long time, I was never sure it was going to happen. When I talk about betting on yourself, it's something that I had to learn firsthand. It's something that I had to find within me. If you're here watching this, you've already got the drive. You've already got the intelligence. You've already got the discipline. Betting on yourself just means trusting all of those instincts that you already have and bringing them to life. When you bet on yourself, you're choosing yourself. You're believing in your potential. You're believing in your dreams and giving yourself permission to chase after those dreams. For me, throughout my life, it's also meant just getting out of my own way. I've been someone who, throughout my life, my early education into college, and even as I began to navigate the professional world, has let negative self-talk hold me back. I've let it prevent me from going after things. It's something that's hard to ignore. It's a choice you have to make to ignore it. It's a choice you have to make to constantly practice betting on yourself, believing in yourself, and trusting the instincts that you have. And what I hope to accomplish with this brief talk is just to shed some insight onto what it did for me, and hope that you take one or two things away from my experience as it relates to what you all are currently going through and what you will eventually navigate as you move on to the next level in your education and eventually into your career. All right, so betting on yourself. For me, it was finding the feeling that I believed in. And that started when I was in your position, when I was your age, when I realized, hey, I'm a not terrible writer. I'm interested in getting better at it. And also I love sports. And I was able to combine those interests via my high school's journalism program through Aaron Manful's program at Francis Allen North. I found my feeling. I felt like I found my calling. I didn't know what that looked like yet. I just knew that what I was doing felt good. And if there was a way I could pursue this as a career, that's what I wanted to do. All it really was at that time was a blurry, murky, sort of a shapeless idea in my head. But I knew that if I moved towards it, I would discover what it was along the way. Let's start with a throwback, huh? This is going to be fun. So this is from my college capstone project, right? So what that means is my senior year at the University of Missouri, the last project I did before I was able to graduate was called a capstone class. And our project was to completely revamp the school's transfer program, how they could recruit transfer students, welcome transfer students, integrate transfer students onto campus, and make them feel welcome. So me and a talented team of 5 other of my classmates put together a giant document. As part of that, we also decided we might as well put together a bio page, right? Let's throw our bio page in the very back of the book, just so people know who we are, and we can also remember this when we look back at it, 12 years later. And none of it really matters. None of it's all that exciting. It's just me, but I want you to take a look at this highlighted part here. After graduation, Ted hopes to work in sports marketing with the ultimate goal of promoting the game of soccer in the United States. Again, nothing but kind of a shapeless blob. It's just sort of an idea of something that I thought would be cool, and that I thought throughout my experience at the high school journalism levels and working in the journalism and studying in the journalism department at the University of Missouri, that I might be qualified for, and maybe I could do it. So that's where that belief started. That's where the belief really took hold in me. And I knew that I had to at least seek this out. I had to go find wherever it was, whatever it looked like, I had to find it. Otherwise I'm potentially risking a lifetime full of what ifs, But along with that shapeless idea, that sort of intangible ball of something I thought sounded cool in my head, is uncertainty. Uncertainty and the unknown comes hand in hand with something like that. I didn't know where I would end up. I didn't know what my opportunities were. I didn't know if I would be good at it. I just believed that I would, and felt like I had to take a shot. All right, I got to give a little credit to my guy, Shea Serrano. Maybe some of you follow him on Twitter. He's a New York Times best-selling author. He's a staff writer at The Ringer, and he wrote this fantastic article a few years ago about what it means to shoot your shot. And it's something that's resonated with me ever since. It's something that I share at every opportunity. In classes I've taught, it's an article that I always make sure to read, and make sure that the base lesson of it all is understood. So Shea wrote this article. Let me pull it up here. Got it somewhere. Shea. It was an NBA guide to shooting your shot. And I would encourage you to give the full thing a read. It's got some great examples. But first, I want to just kind of highlight this piece here. So to give you some background on Shea, before he was a staff writer at The Ringer, he was a school teacher in Texas. And he leads the article with his favorite example of someone shooting their shot in real life. And I'm just going to let Shea sort of give his definition of what it means. And I'll read this passage to you. So he says, my favorite example of someone shooting their shot in real life happened a couple of years ago. This was when I was teaching middle school, and it was either right before, after, or on Valentine's Day. I was standing at my door between classes, watching the students wander through the hallway and saying hello to each of my kids as they entered my class. While there, I saw a boy I would classify as kind of dorky, but mostly very sweet. He had with him, and I'm remembering the story from a long time ago, so maybe the details aren't 100% accurate, some chocolates, a stuffed animal, and a rose. He intended to give them to a girl he liked. When the girl came walking down the hallway, he walked up to her, said something, and handed her the stuff. She said, no thanks, and kept it moving. It was a pulverizing moment, or at least I thought it had been. I know I'd have been crushed by something like that, but the boy was not. He turned around to leave, saw that I was staring at him, then must have measured the hurt in my face because he took a second, and I will never forget this part for the rest of my life. He shrugged his shoulders, looked me right in the eyes, said, shoot or shoot, and then walked away. It was phenomenal. And I think that message there is just so important. You think about what it means to take a risk. You think about what it means to stare failure in the face, to experience it, and then to handle it, accept it, and move on. And that's just so powerful to me. There are two mindsets when you're approaching an instance like this, right? One, you focus on the potential failure, right? What if she says no? Or two, you focus on the potential win. What if she says yes? This kid was focused only on the potential yes, got met with the no, but realized ultimately, what had he lost? Nothing. He hadn't lost a thing. He had an opportunity to gain something. He went for it. He didn't get it. So you move on to the next one. Because eventually, if you're getting up shots, if you're shooting and shooting and shooting, you're bound to make one. So there's a guy that you all will be familiar with, especially if you watch a documentary this summer, The Last Dance, Michael Jordan. Legend, right? Best to ever do it. And, Shea's Shoot Your Shot article references this a little bit, but, you think about as it relates to the NBA and basketball players, someone has to take the shot when the game is on the line, right? All eyes are on you. The game is in your hands. You've got to put it up and make it, right? So I'm just going to tee up Michael Jordan and let him say it himself.
I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot.
There it is.
And missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed.
It's a cool way to sell shoes, but also the message itself is extremely on point. Failure is a part of success, and embracing failure is a part of being even more successful. So Jordan is famously one of the most motivated people of all time, to the point where in the documentary I referenced, The Last Dance, he actually became a meme because all it would take is a player to say hello to him in the wrong way and he would just go off on him. You know, all it took was for one weird look, one strange side glance from an opponent. He decided, you know what, it's about to go down. I'm about to drop 50 on you. So yeah, his superhero level of motivation is maybe not the best example, but the point remains. You know, Jordan knew that he was going to be the guy, and what comes with being the guy is you're going to miss some shots, some big shots, but you know what, you're going to make some big shots too. And I guarantee you that people are going to remember the ones you make more than the ones you've missed. So it's all about getting those shots up, being bold when you can, and seeing how far it gets you. So to bring it full circle, I just want to give you an example from my life of how I shot my shot, the biggest shot I've ever taken. And it came at a time when I was ready and willing to heave one up from way downtown. After college, you know, I was fortunate enough to get an internship with the Rams when they were in St. Louis. And it was great. And I assumed that I would be able to latch on full time, but you know, that's not how it worked out. And I had to really, for the first time in my life, in my professional career, figure it out. I was sort of stranded, and it took a long time for me to sort myself out. You know, I came across an opportunity with an office at MLS that used to have an old program where if you got accepted, they would train you on how the league liked to do sales and marketing. So I got accepted to that program, and I went and trained for 5 months in that area, something I've had no experience in, just trying to get my foot in the door with the league, however it took. So call this like mid-shot. And then I ended up passing the program and getting on with the fire. And a few months later, they had an opening in their digital department. And no one knew that I had the background that I had. No one knew that I went to Mizzou and got my degree in journalism and had worked in professional sports communications for the Rams. No one knew. So I let them know, and I showed them all that I'd done, and became a serious candidate, and I got the job. And I call that's my shot going in. It was the culmination of this aimless feeling coming out of that experience with the Rams, trying something new, and to end up in Chicago, then to spend months doing sales and marketing, to ultimately end up right where I wanted to be. You know, I got lucky that a position opened up, but I was ready to capitalize on it when it did. And here I am now 5 years later, doing the job that I only sort of envisioned in that short biography that I referenced earlier. And it's something I don't take for granted, you know? So in closing, I would just encourage you to take those big shots. Journalism is an industry that demands it. As an up-and-coming journalist, it's competitive out there. And, you know, you're going to be fighting to get read, to get seen, to get on camera, to have your photos placed. You got to be willing to bet on yourself and know that you can do the job and believe that you can do it well. And like I've highlighted here, you're ahead of the game, whether you know it or not, just by being in this class and being a part of this program. You're already, you've set yourself up for future success, and I commend you for that. So again, my name is Ted Bryant. Get at me via my work address, ChicagoFireFC.com. Hit me on Twitter. Shameless plugs. Reach out if you have any questions. Again, I referenced the experiences that I had trying to make it in the industry. So I'm here for you guys as a reference. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And I encourage you to make the most of the rest of your Media Now experience. And that's all I got. Take care.